Gemini, Gemini, Gemini. We are here for you to talk about the month of September, Gemini. Welcome back. You are here to get your horoscope for the month of September, and you get it for absolutely free. The only thing I'm asking you to do, give me a like, give me a subscribe, or feel free to share me with a Gemini you love in your life. So, friends, here we've got a lot going on in the month of September. And before we get started, let me say hello. I am your astrology coach, and I am here to help you navigate through all of life's situations, the ups and downs. So it's always good to know about the transits that are coming up in astrology and how we might be able to work with the energy. Sometimes we have hard transits, and it's good to know when we have them coming so that we can't just think that the world's gone mad, right? It could just be a transit that we will get through collectively. And sometimes it's good to know when we have those lucky, nice, easy, harmonious transits, right? If you are single, wouldn't you like to know when the right time is to look for love? Or wouldn't you like to know the best time to play the lotto? So that's what I'm here for. I am here to give you a general bell curve astrology. So I'm not saying everyone will win the lottery. So play fun, all right? But basically, if you know what's coming, it's easy to work with it. And not everyone's going to win because it also has to do with your own natal planets and natal placements that you have in your birth chart. So if you have your natal chart, I always recommend you have it when you sit down for these readings. If you don't have your natal chart, I can tag a video that will show you exactly how you can get your natal chart using free software called astroseek.com. You do need to know what time you were born. That will certainly be helpful if you are listening for your rising sign. So there are 3 signs you can listen for. We talk about the sun sign, the moon sign, and the rising sign. So the sun sign essentially is your ego. And most children will connect most with their sun sign. And if you are over the age of 40, you will also connect and identify with your sun sign. Now, if you are listening for your rising sign, that is going to match your natal chart. And it's going to match the charts that I will show you today. Now, you're going to want to look at your natal chart, if you have access to it, to see if you have any natal placements in any of the transits I'm going to be talking about today. Now, you can also listen for your moon sign, which might have more to do with your mood or how you feel about these transits and how they might affect you more emotionally. Okay, so Geminis, currently you're navigating a major period of internal structuring, right? There's some mental recalibration going on and shifting foundations. So we're coming off of August, and if you haven't watched the week ahead for the last week in August, go back and watch that. I will play it at the end of this video. But we had a lunar eclipse in Pisces, which hits your 10th house of your career, your public identity, and your life direction. So as you enter September, you might be feeling a little bit liberated. You might be feeling uncertain or maybe even mentally overloaded. So this eclipse can play out as a career or public identity shift. It could be a focus on your home or your roots, even processing through family dynamics. And it could also lead to some mental friction and restlessness. So let's get down to it. I'm going to open up your chart so you can follow along with me. But before I get started, I do want to give a shout out to WaterMinx000. Thank you for watching Gemini Rising. Always be sure to comment. I like to know who's watching. And because of your comment, I decided to put this video out next. So thank you for watching. Again, continue to like, subscribe, share me with someone. And I'm just going to give a little pause here so that I can get the charts up. All right, here we are back in the game. So these videos are pretty lengthy, 30 to 40 minutes. So grab a snack, grab a drink, or just listen to me as you have your morning, your daily commute. let me know if you feel these are too long. I'm in the early stages. I'm trying to fine tune what I'm doing to best suit your needs. So please feel free to give me feedback. But when I talk about certain house placements, for example, the third house, it has to do with a multitude of things. So your third house can be media, communications, can be your siblings, it can be your neighborhood. So all three of those things is not going to pertain to every single person. So what I'm going to do is give you the scenario for each sign, and it's kind of like a choose your own adventure, right? So you're going to see which one plays out for you in your life. So if I'm talking about being safe in the car, it's always good to be safe in the car, but you just want to be a little more extra cautious because it could be that, or it could just be watch out for nosy neighbors. All right, but we are ready to jump down in it. That's just my beginning, early start off video. But on the 1st of September, we start out with two big transits, kind of medium transits. But the first one, we have Mars in Cancer in your second house of personal finances, and it's squaring Saturn in Aries in your 11th house of long-term goals. So you might be feeling some financial stress at the beginning of the month, or even a conflict between some spending and earning needs and some long-term group investments, which could lead to frustration or a feeling of scarcity. Okay, so just keep that in mind at the beginning of September. It's a quick transit, okay? It'll move through pretty quick, fairly quick. Mars moves at a medium speed. Saturn is very slow. Also on September 1st, we have Mercury in Virgo, which is in your 4th house, and it's forming a sextile to Mars in Cancer in your 2nd house. So this is now going to lighten up the last transit that I talked about, because sextiles are much more beneficial than a square. So this is going to create a practical, productive link between your home, family, your living situation, and your own personal finances, your earning power, and your material resources. So now Mercury is your chart ruler. So we can expect this to be a little more supportive. And this aspect to Mars is going to act like a green light here to turn your ideas here into some financial assets. So yes, we're worried about the money coming in, but with this transit, it's looking a little more hopeful for you. So don't fret too much. So Mercury is grounded and analytical in Virgo, which is in your 4th house of home, land, and family. And Mars is in Cancer in your 2nd house. Mars is not too happy or healthy in the 2nd house, which is why you might have those feelings, those emotions around your financial security and earning potential. Good news for you, Mars moves out of Cancer near the end of the month. Now, the 4th house rules family, history, property, roots. 2nd house, money. So another way this could manifest is it becomes easy to have some productive conversations with family members or roommates about shared living expenses, budgeting, or real estate assets. So emotional topics surrounding family money can be discussed with clear logic. So maybe it's just having to talk to a family member about stepping up and maybe contributing to the household. So Mars in Cancer here can sometimes feel protective or anxious because he's kind of in his fall here. So he's feeling this way about resources, and Mercury in Virgo is really providing a sharp mental context or organization here. So cleaning, streamlining your physical living space can help calm your financial anxiety and also boost your sense of worth. So use this time, declutter, organize, clean out the house, and it'll help you feel a little more secure in your ability to provide for yourself and your family when your sanctuary and your home is in order. So get that home in order. All right. So as I said, Mercury is your chart ruler. Mercury also rules your 1st house and your 4th house. Mars rules your 6th and your 11th. So you could also see some impacts in those houses. Now, Mercury, as I said, rules your first house of self. So this transit is going to allow you to really take control of your environment. Your financial ideas can be directly supported through your daily work or your service routines, which is your 6th house, and your long-term financial goals. So we have those two transits that are happening on September 1st. And then it's pretty quiet. We don't have anything until September 10th. We have 4 different things happening. One of them is Venus enters the sign of Scorpio, which is in your 6th house. So Venus is a little different here. Many of you know Venus as being peaceful, harmonious, the beautiful angel, right? So she's taking a bit of a darker quality here because she is in her fall in Scorpio. So Venus can bring an intense, restorative, harmonizing focus into your daily work, your job environment, your health, and your physical wellness. But because she's in her detriment in Scorpio, she's not doing light pleasantries here. She's going to bring a more intense focus or an emotional depth here and a desire to heal hidden issues in your day-to-day operation. So you might see some things popping up within that 6th house because she wants to bring awareness and she wants you to be able to fix them. The 6th house governs your workplace, your interactions, your coworkers, employees, and client relations. So Venus here can work to smooth over office politics, passive-aggressive friction, or any tension with colleagues. And this could also create opportunities for some behind-the-scenes collaboration. So the 6th house also rules the physical body, daily habits, and health practices. So if you're not seeing this in the work environment, you may see it play out with your health. Now, Scorpio loves transformation and purging toxicity. So this transit encourages an emotional detox. So this is a prime window for starting some holistic health routines. It's a good time for addressing any hidden digestive or stress issues, or even finding beauty in disciplined daily self-care routines. All right, those are all some Venus themes. So Venus also rules your 5th and your 12th house. These can also be impacted. So creative projects, passion, and joy are all part of the 5th house. So they can be paired with healing and rest, which is in the 12th house. And it's going to be this flow between quiet solitude and your 5th house of fun. So work is going to become an outlet for some creative problem solving, possibly even psychological release. So another thing happening on the 10th is that Mercury is entering Libra in your 5th house. This is also bringing a lighthearted, creative, intellectual, stimulating boost to your romance, your self-expression, and your creative projects and joy. Now, Geminis, there's a lot of action for you in your 5th house in September. So I think September is going to be feeling really good for you. There's going to be a lot of pleasure here, a lot of fun. Now, because Mercury is your chart ruler, its movement into an air sign is going to form a supportive trine back to your 1st house of self, really restoring your natural wit, charm, and just mental ease, okay? So some key themes for you in speaking about the 5th house, which again, I'm talking about all of these aspects that could be happening in the 5th house. They're not all going to play out for everyone, but this is kind of a choose your own adventure and see which one fits for you. So 5th house, romance, dating, flirting, pleasure. Now, Libra is an air sign. She seeks balance, beauty, and connection. So here's the impact here. Flirting, dating, social banter will be on the rise. So Gemini risings are going to feel more communicative, charming and magnetic. It's an ideal time for expressing your romantic feelings. Writing love letters. Nobody does that anymore. I so miss that. Does anyone write love letters? I guess I have to say love text, but think back to the old days, right? When we wrote notes to each other, or even just enjoying witty, intellectual, stimulating conversations in dating. But here, I'm going to push you, write a love letter to someone. It's beautiful. All right. So the other piece of the fifth house, it rules hobbies, passion projects, and artistic creation. So Mercury provides language, concepts, and structure. So a surge of creative, inspirational hits, intuitive hits could hit here. This is an excellent time for coming up with new artistic ideas if you're into writing, designing, podcasting, or just brainstorming. Your mind is going to be full of beautiful concepts and beautiful ideas. So I suggest keep a journal, start writing down the thoughts that come to you. You probably have a lot of thoughts because you are ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is very analytical. So another fifth house theme, it rules games, leisure, and children. So this also could impact your children if you have any. So you may feel drawn to games of strategy, intellect, social gatherings, or entertainment, trivia night. If you have children, conversations with them will flow easily, marked with fairness, mutual respect, and playful learning. Even if you're a teacher, right? This is going to be an ideal time for you. Now let's talk about the houses Mercury rules, first and fourth, and how they may also be linked. So your physical vitality and your identity, along with your home life, will align with support and creative joy. So you might be able to bring some of these artistic projects and ideas into the home and feel personally recharged. So you might just be getting like the decorating itch where you feel like you want to redecorate or reorganize your home. Also happening on the 1st, we have Uranus retrograde in your first house. So this turns the spotlight inward. So this is going to be a time of personal reorientation and integration. Anytime a planet goes retrograde, instead of getting those outside influences, we are looking inside for the change. So over recent months, Uranus has been in your first house, possibly triggering sudden shifts in your identity or maybe even your appearance. Did you change your hair or your brand or even your clothing, how you present yourself to the world? So now as Uranus goes retrograde, this disruption is going to slow down, giving you room to digest who you actually are becoming. So I talked about those first house themes, and Uranus here can bring a sudden awakening, independence, or a rebellion against who your past self was. And instead of dealing with sudden, unexpected changes in your life, you might just be adjusting to your new identity. So some questions you might be asking: am I truly living authentically, or was I just reacting to circumstances? Okay, this is going to make you think about who you really want to be. Now, this can also affect your nervous system because Uranus typically moves quickly and electrically, so often causing restlessness or anxiety when it's moving through the first house. So how have you been feeling? Have you been feeling this anxious energy, like you're expecting another shoe to drop? So this retrograde is going to grant your nervous system a little bit of a break here. So the physical restlessness will subside, making it easier to ground your mental energy and adjust your daily routine. So hopefully you won't feel as overwhelmed. All right. And then we have an exciting new moon in Virgo also happening in your fourth house. So this is going to be an annual reset for your home, family dynamics, living arrangements. So this is coming right after the heavy 10th house eclipse. So this lunation is going to pull the focus back into your private sanctuary to organize, clean, and rebuild from the ground up. So there's a lot of cleaning and organizing within your foundation and your fourth house. So fourth house governs your physical house, your apartment, your real estate, your roommates, your whole domestic environment. So this clean slate energy for your home is going to be the perfect time for signing a new lease. If you are moving, if you are launching some home renovations, decluttering, or creating an organized functional space, again, to calm that restless mind. This could also be good for emotional grounding. So Virgo demands practical solutions and clear boundaries. And we know the fourth house rules ancestors, parents, the home foundation. So this is offering a clear opportunity to reset your family dynamics instead of carrying on any unresolved domestic drama. So you can establish healthier, practical boundaries with your family and have open conversations to clear the air. So because this is a new moon, this is a new time to manifest anything you want within those fourth house themes. I always say, keep a journal for your new moons and your full moons, because right now this is the start of the cycle and you can expect to see closure, see it come to fruition when we have that full moon in Virgo, all right, which will probably be in about 18 months. All right, so write it down and say, new moon Virgo, this is what I manifest. And then when that full moon comes, you can go back and say, oh, this is what I manifested. Create a vision board all around those fourth house themes. So, and I just realized I'm not even moving my chart. I just am into talking about everything with you. All right. So let's jump ahead to the 12th. So on the 12th, we have Mercury in Libra in your fifth house, and it's trining Pluto retrograde in Aquarius in your ninth house. Okay, so this is going to create an alignment between your creative self-expression, your romance, your joy, and even higher study and spiritual conviction. So this air trine can act as a mental catalyst, allowing you to combine your witty charm with some deep transformative wisdom. All right. Again, we're talking about fifth house, which again is all about your house of joy, romance, and I'm going to talk about the different ways this might manifest for you. So it rules creative output, media, writing, and self-expression. Whereas you have Pluto in your ninth house, where it's being intense, investigative, and holding some psychological depth regarding beliefs and publishing. So this is a great transit if you are a writer, a content creator, a podcaster, or an artist. Your words are going to carry immense weight, authority, and persuasive power. So any creative ideas, a script, or a passion project drafted now can deeply impact or transform your audience. That's pretty exciting, right? If you are a writer. Now, also, Pluto retrograde in the ninth can bring back past insights or some forgotten truths or deep research, while Mercury in the fifth is going to bring some lightheartedness and some really creative execution here. So you may be synthesizing through some heavy life lessons and translating them into enjoyable, engaging formats. So you may be involved in researching deep subjects like the occult, astrology, psychology, or philosophy, and that will be fun and inspiring for you to explore. And I hope you will continue to explore astrology with me. Now, fifth house also has to do with dating, romance, and leisure. So Pluto here can bring an intensity to some soul level bonds. So romantic interactions, social conversations can go beyond that small talk. So you're going to be attracting intellectually captivating, deep people. Conversations with lovers or children can help heal fears or even offer eye-opening perspectives. So we talked about Mercury rules your first and your fourth house. So because it rules these houses, this alignment is going to give you some mental clarity, some personal authority, and strategic vision. And your personal history, your foundation, those fourth house themes will align with those long-term paths and beliefs, which is all about the ninth house, which is studying and learning new things. All right, then on the 15th, what have we got here? On the 15th, we have Venus in Scorpio in your sixth house, and it's squaring Pluto retrograde in Aquarius in your ninth house. So this is going to create a friction. All right, squares tend to, it's a heavier energy, and it's going to cause friction in your daily work routines, possibly your health habits, long-term plans, or even the publishing that we just talked about. So fixed sign squares do force hidden tension out into the open. Pluto wants to expose things, again, so you can fix them and learn from them and move on. Pluto's all about uncovering the karmic cycles. All right, so we have Venus in the sixth, and we know she wants harmony, dedication. She wants to be focused in your daily operations. But Scorpio here is a deep, dark sign, right? So Scorpio can breed obsession or secrecy with coworkers. So with Pluto being in your ninth house, it kind of forces you to relook at some of those things, and it's going to connect that work to possibly changing a philosophy or something coming up with legal matters or higher education. So Venus in the sixth here can also work really hard, overwork. She's going to be a little drained. And Pluto is wanting to demand this total mental transformation. So you might, if you're wanting everything to be perfect in your daily workflow, you may find yourself hitting a wall here, right? If you're pouring all of your energy into your daily work, you might find your peace of mind or your spiritual outlook just fading away, causing some physical exhaustion or some stress-induced friction, just looking for a reset. So again, I tell you all of this because I want you to know what's coming, right? When we know better, we do better. And sometimes it's good to know that these transits are coming up. So if you're marking your calendar and you're like, why am I so emotionally drained here? Oh, right. I've got Venus squaring Pluto. I say that to my family all the time. They think I'm nuts, but hey, it's true. That's why I started this channel, so I can talk to people about astrology. So your ninth house also rules publishing, broadcasting. So if you're launching a project, if you're writing something, or even planning long distance travel, you might come across some glitches, some frustration. So the key is to just address these issues without feeling like you have to have control over everything. Sometimes it's good to just let go, let the universe take the wheel, and the universe will get you through it, right? The universe, no matter what, it's going to want you to learn whatever it is you have to learn. So there's no fighting it. The best thing is to do is just flow through it. So Venus also rules your fifth and your 12th house. So let's talk about what you might see in those areas as well. So your hidden subconscious 12th house can lead to some anxiety or some creative frustration. Now, your sixth house is your daily routines. So you might see those anxieties show up in the workplace. So instead of spiraling yourself into self-sabotage, use this intensity to transform those workplace habits so that they work for you, so that you can feel healthy and comfortable in your day-to-day life, right? This is what you're doing when you are working, not enjoying life. All right. Then on the 17th, we're talking about Chiron. If you've seen my short video on Chiron, it's very cute. It's a little animation, and it's all about Chiron traveling through the house system and where the universe is wanting you to heal your wounds. So right now, for the whole collective and for you Geminis, well, Chiron is leaving Taurus and entering the sign of Aries, which is, it's a good thing for you because Taurus is your 12th house. So for the past few years, Chiron in your 12th house has forced you to confront some deep-seated psychological baggage. Maybe you've been a little bit more secluded, you've enjoyed solitude, or maybe you've just self-sabotaged and had some inner fears. So Chiron has been asking you to heal behind those private doors, right? You're not out in the open for everyone. So Chiron is the wounded healer. So it's what your wound is, and Chiron is expecting you to heal within this lifetime. So as Chiron exits, you're going to step out of that behind the scenes processing, and you're going to carry forward a more grounded connection to your intuition. Because you've already learned how to quiet your subconscious and your self-doubt, and we've been working on that sanctuary and that personal space. So the core wound here in the 11th house, Chiron is going to illuminate some vulnerabilities surrounding your place within groups, your friends, your networks, your professional associations, even your lifelong dreams. So while Chiron is transiting through here, you're fighting those lingering fears of not fitting in, or of feeling like an outsider in those collective spaces, or even doubting whether your vision for the future is valid and, the path that you're on, is that the right path to go? So some of you may be experiencing imposter syndrome. So it's all about healing that. So Aries is demanding you to be self-assertive, okay, while the 11th house rules your group dynamics. So Chiron here is asking, do you shrink yourself to fit into the crowd? Do you feel like you have to mold yourself to fit in? Or do you have the bravery to stand out in your authentic identity among your peers? And that goes back to those first house themes that we talked about at the beginning of September. So here's the medicine, right? As you heal these social insecurities, Chiron is going to transform you into a natural mentor for others who feel marginalized or out of place. So you're going to learn to start to build communities built on authenticity rather than social performance or collaborative efforts. So let's talk more about this. Because Mars rules Aries, your willingness to take bold action into your daily work of your 6th house or your financial strategies, 2nd house, is going to help you clear out any fake connections. It's going to help you build a social network aligned with your real ambitions. Okay, and then our next transit is happening on the 21st. All right, so on the 21st here, we have Mercury sextiling Jupiter, which is in your 3rd house of Leo. All right, so Mercury in Libra in the 5th house is forming a sextile to Jupiter in Leo in your 3rd house, creating an optimistic, creative, sharp alignment, linking your self-expression and romance with your mindset and your daily communications, your local community, could even be siblings and neighborhood. So because Mercury is your chart ruler, this is a supportive air to fire link that's going to fill your interactions, your daily interactions, with enthusiasm, with wit, and smooth problem solving. So you could have ideas flowing effortlessly. This is a fantastic transit for brainstorming, for writing scripts or recording podcasts, drafting content, engaging in public speaking. So again, we're talking about your words carrying warmth, authority, positivity that will easily captivate an audience. So I don't know if this is what's on your radar right now, but you have a lot of this that's coming in for the month of September. So if you don't have a YouTube channel, this might be the time to start one, because this is a good time to be an influencer for any of you Geminis. Now, the fifth house also rules romance, leisure, while the third house rules your everyday dialogue, siblings, and your neighbors. So flirting, dating, social interactions are going to be highlighted during this time. Your conversations are going to be lighthearted, uplifting, very stimulating. You could be receiving good news regarding a project, or good news from a sibling, or a local community event can help bring about joy. Now, Jupiter in the third house is also going to expand your daily intellect, right? Whatever Jupiter touches, he's going to expand. Mercury is here all about intellect and ideas. So this is going to want you to turn your information into art or play. So as I said, if you're working on any creative endeavor, project, this is the day to share it publicly. Because the reception is going to be remarkably positive. So I hope you mark September 21st on your calendar. If you want to share an idea, that is a great time for it. Okay, so Mercury rules your first and your fourth house. Jupiter rules your seventh and your 10th. So this is a major house activation, because Mercury rules your first house of self, and Jupiter rules your seventh house of partnerships and the 10th house of career. This transit is going to align your personal identity and your home foundation with some big professional growth and relationship harmony through the power of creative communication. All right, then your next transit on the 22nd, we have the Sun entering Libra in your fifth house. All right, so this brings a lot of creativity, romance, joy, self-expression. So again, your fifth house themes. And this is why I said September is looking like a lot of fun, because fifth house, you know, it's going to really highlight your children during this time. If you have them, you're just going to have a lot of fun and romance. So couple ways this could manifest for you. The Sun brings clarity and vitality to everything that you create. So again, a great month for launching projects, stepping into the creative spotlight, designing, writing, showing off your talents without holding back. If we're talking in the romance pleasure sector, your magnetic charm is turned all the way up. So if you are single, this is a prime window for dating and attracting stimulating connections. So if you are partnered with someone, this is just going to invite more fun, some date nights, playful romance back into the relationship. And because this is Scorpio, I'm just going to say this. So Scorpio is your sixth house, not your fifth house. All right. Hold on one second. All right, sorry about that. Dogs barking at nothing all the time. Does that happen with you too? So anyway, sorry about that. So the fifth house is also traditionally known as the house of good fortune. It rules fun, entertainment, and children. So after focusing heavily on those home logistics and daily routines earlier in the month, this is you're going to now have permission to just enjoy your daily life. So it's a great time for hobbies, social outings, entertainment, reconnecting with your inner child. Because the sun rules your third house of communication, daily mindset, local environment, even siblings, this fifth house transit can help you turn your daily ideas and writing and local interactions into artistic, joyful self-expression. All right, we are getting near to the end of the month, and on the 26th, dun, 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 we have a full moon in Aries in the 11th house. So this is going to bring a high energy climax to your social network, your long-term goals, your group collaboration, and your sense of belonging. So full moon is all about closure. So you can go back and see what you manifested for your new moon in Aries if you've been writing them down like I talk about. So because Aries is a bold, action-oriented fire sign ruled by Mars, this full moon is going to really bring some sudden clarity, some emotional peaks, and could be some big moments within your community. So this could manifest as a major group venture, an audience milestone, or a collaborative project is going to reach a completion, a pivotal turning point. All right, let's see. Now, Aries energy demands honesty and independence, while the 11th house governs your social circles. So you could experience some tension or unexpressed dynamics within your friend groups. Gemini risings, you may realize, which alliances truly support your vision and which ones feel draining. So don't hesitate to cut ties with toxic networks at this time. Take the lead in standing up for your true friends. So the 11th house is also known as the house of good spirit. So it rules your largest hopes, wishes, and future aspirations. So if there's a major goal that you've been fighting for, you may see that come to fruition. And Aries energy is going to urge you to take ownership of your success. Claim your place rather than waiting for external permission. So because Mars rules your 6th house of daily work and physical effort, this full moon is going to highlight your daily grind here, your practical habits. And it could even result in a financial breakthrough we're talking about in the 11th house. So might be a good day to not risk a lot, but maybe buy a lotto ticket and let me know if it pans out. Not saying you'll win, but it might be in the cards. So then at the end of the month, Mars enters Leo, and that happens on the 27th. So this is going to be, right, Mars brings energy wherever he goes. So he's going to bring some mental stamina, some drive, directly to your daily communications, your writing, your content creation, and your local environment. So we know Mars has been feeling blah. We talked about it earlier in the month. So he's finally out of Cancer. And so he's been navigating this financial protective energy in the 2nd house. So moving into Leo, it's now going to help you be more confident. You'll stop worrying about your resources and just be able to express your ideas a little better. So 3rd house, like I said, it governs your speech, your writing, your communication, your social media. So Leo brings a dramatic flair. So your mind could be accelerating. You could be expressing yourself with conviction, authority, and charisma. A surge of motivation might hit a creative output. This is just a good time, again, to launch writing projects or record videos if you have a YouTube channel. launch a local campaign, or just get involved in some short-term learning. Maybe you want to learn a new hobby or something different tied to your work. So the energy within your local community, within your local sphere, it's going to pick up dramatically. So you might even find yourself taking the lead on local projects or organizing some outings with siblings. So Mars can also trigger some hasty driving. Be careful driving in the car, or sharp arguments with family or neighbors if impatience gets the better of you. So yes, be careful and cautious when you're driving. Now, it also could impact your 6th house because Mars rules your 6th and your 11th house. So your hard work, your practical routines, your discipline that you build behind the scenes is going to fuel your communication in your 3rd house. All right, it's going to help power up your long-term goals or group collaborations. Sorry, I'm not done. We got one more. On the 30th, we are closing out the month, and Mercury is now entering Scorpio, which is your 6th house. So this is going to shift your mental focus from lighthearted fun towards some deeper analytical work, right? Mercury's been having fun in the 5th house, joy, joy, fun, fun. So now Mercury's now moving into your physical health and your daily work operations, possibly bringing some organization to your daily routines. Mercury is your chart ruler. So wherever Mercury goes, you're going to have a personal focus and your energy is going to really be focused on this house. So moving into the water sign of Scorpio, your mind is going to be intuitive and it's going to be very efficient. So you have an eye for detail here. And you're not interested in superficial fixes. You really want to dissect daily workflows or locate those administrative glitches. So it's an excellent transit for research, editing, or completing work projects. So another 6th house theme is your physical health, digestion, daily habits, and wellness. So anything going on with your body, you're going to be questioning and you're going to be working like a detective. So you're not going to be ignoring minor symptoms. You're going to pay attention to them. You may be following generic advice or seeking out root causes for an issue. So this is a great window for starting a nutritional reset, thinking about your diet, possibly researching holistic remedies, or even auditing what is creating your stress level these days. So this is the end of the month. Mercury also rules dialogue, while Scorpio is one that keeps the cards close to the chest. Good poker player. So you might be a little more private and strategic at work, be more of a listener than a speaker, and you'll be able to spot hidden motives from colleagues, and you'll find you'll only want to speak when you have the clarity and the facts. So because Mercury rules your 1st house of self and your 4th house of home, you're really going to want to organize your daily grind, your work habits, and your health routines. All right, that is a lot, Gemini. So in closing, you're going to be prioritizing your sanctuary and unplugging, right? Coming off of late August career eclipse, your energy is going to need a foundational reset. Use the Virgo New Moon in your 4th house, declutter your living space, establish those family boundaries, give your nervous system a chance to catch up before rushing into the next big thing. Turn those private insights into creative gold, right? Mercury is your chart ruler. It's trining Pluto, sextiling Jupiter. So your mind is like fire and focus. So don't waste this time. If you get an idea, run with it. relook at your daily grind without overworking it. With Venus entering your 6th house, watch out for workplace perfectionism or those hidden power dynamics. And then you've got this Aries full moon in your 11th house, Mars entering your 3rd. It's just demanding authenticity. So your big theme for September, Gemini, anchor yourself at home so you can shine everywhere else. Ground your roots, purge toxic daily habits, give yourself permission to step into the creative spotlight. Because when you speak from authentic conviction, your true community will follow, right? When we know better, we do better. Thank you for watching. I hope this wasn't too long. Please give me some feedback. I will make next month's better. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell because I always put out new videos weekly. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching, everyone. All right, take care.